I met someone this week who said something that absolutely fascinated me, and I wanted to test it out on you. He said, why are we firing these people for having affairs at work? They're very good at their jobs. Should we be doing this? Have we lost our mind?
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Thought, what an interesting question. What do you think?
I think it depends. And I think with the CEO, it might be a special case because the ethics of being a CEO, the transparency, the due diligence, the way that you're a person that other people look up to, I think that's really important. I think the average affair inside a company, that's a different thing. Now, interestingly, the Nestle CEO, there were whistleblowers on an internal line, weren't there?
Yeah.
It was the anonymous complaints line. That's what got him. But I do think CEOs are a special case. What do you think, Christine?
I think there's a couple of things. Have they broken policy? And I think some cases there's favoritism, there's expenses questions. Who were you with? Why were you in that country or doing whatever you were doing? So I think those things sit in a category of their own. I think where there's disclosure, if there's a rule that there has to be disclosure and you haven't disclosed it because it's an affair, then I can understand why you might not have disclosed it, but I can see how that is a breach of policy. You've got to hold people to policy. But are we holding CEOs to a different standard? I just had a bit of a Google as I was thinking about this of sort of people who have had sexual indiscretions but done quite interesting things. I mean, Nelson Mandela had quite a lot of affairs. Gandhi had some very dubious practices of sleeping alongside young women to test his celibacy, which I think we'd question quite strongly. Kennedy, Roosevelt, Eisenhower, Jefferson, the American president. I mean, quite a lot, So are we losing talent? Who's to say?
I suppose it is the transparency thing. If you've got a CEO who's in a polycule, for example, and they're upfront about it, I don't think you could sack them after the fact in the very modern way.
Would you be upfront about it if you were the CEO, though?
You're going to send me down a Google rabbit hole now to have a look.